So let's go, bro. Today is day 34 trying to make $1 million, and there are only 331 days left. And wait a minute. Okay, perfect. So, for today, I prepared two videos, and the reason why I prepared two videos for today is okay. Let me share the screen with you first. But right now, I have 114 subscribers. So let's go, bro. Let's go. 114 subscribers. I'm gonna share a screen with you guys. Just give me a moment. Give me a minute, bro. Okay, perfect. I prepared these two videos. First one by Dan Marto and the second one by Air. The science of building a premium brand. Why? Why? I want to be clear about this because why I choose this video. There are not only random videos that I pick. And I choose these videos first because I have a lot of work. I have a lot of things. I need to record videos. I need to write the script. I need to do business, and I need and I do all these things, and I need to be more productive right now. I feel like I'm not so productive. I have a lot in my mind and I want to be more productive. That's the reason why I choose this video. How to be so productive if sales like cheating by Dan Martel. And also I choose this video, the science of building a premium brand, is because right now I want to start a shoe brand in order to get that $1 million, and also with my personal brand and all this topic and all these whole project of living with that. I need to build a premium brand around my personal brand and also around the shoe brand, and I need to know how to build a premium brand, bro. So that's the reason why I choose these two videos. And also right now, also we are going to play Zelda. We are going to play Zelda, bro. People would be like, wait, what? Playing Zelda? This is about making $1 million, or this is about playing Zelda? Okay, let me explain the reason why I decided to play Zelda in this stream. In this stream is because I want to try different things. Because you can make $1 million in a lot of different ways, and I think that I need to explore all these ways. So you can make $1 million by singing, by acting. You can make $1 million by doing business. You can make $1 million with your personal brand, with an info product. And there are a lot of ways, bro. So playing video games. There are people that make $1 million just playing video games and winning tournaments. So that's the reason why I want
Kind of person who
to
wants to get more done in less time than
I want to play Zelda also to get more audience. I want to add variety to my streams. So we're going to play Zelda on stream, bro. But first, we are going to learn, because if I spend all the 365 days right now, 331 days only playing video games, probably I'm not gonna make $1 million. That's a hard truth. If I spend all these days that are left only playing, I'm not gonna make $1 million. So for this specific stream, I want to try different things, new things, and explore. Probably I can get more audience, reach more people if I play Zelda. I don't know, bro. So 114 subscribers. I hope to have 125 subscribers. Why? Because I post every single day. So I think that I can get 125 subscribers for tomorrow. I upload a new short. Go watch the short if you have time, because I put a lot of effort on that short. So okay, we're going to learn first, and then we are going to explore new ways, new things, and play Zelda a little bit. So for now, okay, we're going to start with this video because it's what I need the most right now. I need to be more productive. I need to improve my videos because yesterday was hard and I didn't go live because I feel like I'm going. I feel like burnout, bro. I was in a burnout. And that made me feel like I'm really exhausted. I can go live today, bro, but I need to try to go live uh, constantly as possible as I can. I go live, bro. I need to go live every single day. I know that I need to go live every single day in order to make $1 million, and I'm trying to do that. So, but I also need to know how to be more productive. That's why I choose this specific video. The videos aren't random. They have a specific reason why I choose specific videos to apply to my personal brand. The videos I choose are not only to learn but also to apply, because if I want $1 million, I need to apply what I learn. So let's start with this video.
If you're the kind of person who wants to get more done in less time, then you've clicked on the right video. Because if you give me
I'm that kind of person.
just a few minutes, I'll give you decades of productivity advice in return. Because the most successful people,
This
few minutes, I'll give you.
Whoa, bro, it looks so different. Yo, wow, wow.
Decades of productivity advice in return. Because the most successful people, they don't rely on discipline or willpower to be productive. They rewire their brain to make it impossible to fail. I've got intense.
Do you think that mortal god have a glow up or glow down based on these pictures, bro? Glow up or glow down? I think that he had a glow up. Glow up. Glow up.
Because the most successful people, they don't rely on discipline or willpower to be productive. They rewire their brain to make it impossible to fail. I've got intense ADHD, but the systems I've built turn that from a weakness.
One lesson that we learn from that mortal is that you need to make things easy for you to win. You need to make all easy to win, bro. How do you make that? An example: if you spend all day watching Netflix, probably delete your Netflix account or probably don't pay Netflix for the next month. It's a good way to make yourself easy, to make easy to win, bro. To make easy to win for yourself. Or if you spend all time on TikTok, if you delete TikTok or you only spend an hour of your day on TikTok, you are making easy to win. You need to do things easy to win, bro. Important lesson.
Into a weapon. ADHD. But the systems I've built turn that from a weakness into a weapon. And those systems is what helped me build several multi-million-dollar businesses. And through it all, I've learned systems is what helped me build several multi-million-dollar.
Bro, super cool, bro. Oh, bro. In the future, I want a Bugatti.
Businesses. And through it all, I've learned there are only 5 things that make productivity simple and life a whole lot easier.
I will have a Bugatti. Okay. Or probably a Lambo. I don't know.
Starting with the 2-minute rule. I first learned this from a guy named Dave.
Take notes, guys. Wait a minute, wait a minute. Just wait a minute. I'll come back in a minute. Okay, perfect.
David Allen. He wrote an incredible book called Getting Things Done. And a long time ago, I went to an event in New York City where he was speaking, and he shared this wisdom that was so simple yet so profound. A rule that applies to everything that I'll talk about today. If something takes less than 2 minutes, just do it. Don't think it, don't plan it, just act. Most people spend more time.
Super powerful, bro, because a lot of time I don't think, okay, this takes me 2 minutes to do, and I was just, probably I'll do that later, bro. So, wow, so powerful. This rule is powerful. If it takes less than 2 minutes to do, if something takes less than 2 minutes, just do it, bro. Super powerful, this rule. Powerful. Perfect. Perfect.
Do it. Don't think it, don't plan it, just act. Most people spend more
Just
time writing
act.
down, tracking.
One of my favorite quotes is, dream big, start small, but most of all, start, bro. You need to start. That's the most important part. You need to start. So, wow, it's super powerful. If something takes less than 2 minutes, just do it. The 2 minute rule.
Put it in their project management software than the actual work to just do it. The longer you hesitate, the heavier the task actually gets, and the longer the list of the tasks get. I like to say JFDI, just do it. Send the email, book the meeting, shoot the video, respond to the text. Just do it now. Less than 2 minutes, don't even write it down. Those tiny actions actually build massive momentum. Reminds me of this quote by Jeff Bezos, which I love. He says, stress doesn't come from hard work. It comes from ignoring things that you shouldn't be ignoring. He says, just do it now. Less than 2 minutes, don't even write it down. Those tiny actions actually build massive momentum. Reminds me of this.
Important. With tiny actions, build massive momentum. Perfect.
This quote by Jeff Bezos, which I love. He says, stress doesn't come from hard work. It comes from ignoring things that you shouldn't be ignoring. It's true. Some people create more pain in their life from the decision they got to make than the downside that might happen if they just make the decision. Now, not every task takes 2 minutes. So what do you do when you've got real work that demands focus, energy, and time? You need to fix your focus. Here's a wild idea. You can't be productive if you have poor focus.
Second rule, fix your focus. Okay. Wait, because something is happening with the table. So wait, okay, but wait a minute. Okay, perfect. Okay, no. Okay.
Here's a wild idea. You can't be productive if you have no idea what to focus on. Clarity creates acceleration. If I have a clear direction of where I'm going, I can sprint. Most people wake up wanting to be productive, but they
You
can't be
need to have
productive because
priorities. You need to have priorities, bro. One important lesson we learned from Alex Ormosi was you need to have priority and focus on only one thing. You need to have one priority and a priority because priority is only one. You need to focus only on that thing and all besides that no, don't matter. Don't matter, bro. Doesn't matter. Everything besides that don't matter, bro. Doesn't matter if it's a call from your mom or your dad or whatever. Doesn't matter. Because everything besides that don't matter, bro. You need to focus only on one thing and do that thing.
they don't know what they're trying to produce. In many ways, I think about it like a target. How can I hit a target if I can't see it? But once I see it, then it's about focus. Follow one course until successful. That's what the best of the best do. As a nerd, I think of it like a vector. And if you don't know what that is, it's an easy thing to understand. A vector is essentially an arrow. The arrow has a direction and it has a force. If it's got a lot of power behind it, then that vector is strong in a direction. It means that it's not about just how hard you work, it's about working in the right direction. This first got introduced to me through a guy named Sean Ellis, who's like the original growth hacker, if you've ever heard that term. And he shared me this concept called North Star metrics. Essentially, he said, if you could distill everything you're trying to accomplish in your business into one number, then it gets everybody focused on the right thing. So I was building this company, Clarity, and when we sat down as a team and looked at it, we realized there's this thing called expert-driven signups. To the degree we could convince people that were using our platform to share it with other people and they would drive signups to use our product, that was our North Star metric. That became our focus. That became our guiding light for all things, our sprints, our developments, our marketing, everything. That one decision to get everybody focused on our North Star metric is the reason why we sold the company 2 years later. Real productivity isn't managing time, it's managing focus. So here's 2 steps you can follow to fix your focus. The first, we have to define your 12 power goals. At the beginning of the year, I always sit down and I go for a walk and I get quiet and I sit down with my heart in the trees. I literally like to go to nature and I ask myself, what do I want to accomplish this year? In all aspects of my life, from the business side to the family side to the adventure side to just creating the
Wait, something happened. Okay, perfect.
World. And I just do a flood of consciousness. I just write down a bunch of things. And then what I do is I take that list and I look at them, and I always take the one thing that goes to the top that if I accomplish that one, it makes everything else easier. But then I backfill.
Make $1,000,000, bro. That's what I'm trying to do. This year, my goal for this year is to make $1,000,000. And I'm trying to do the impossible in order to get $1,000,000, bro. I want to start a shoe brand. I'm trying to start a shoe brand. And I'm learning how to start a shoe brand because I'm is so it's not difficult, but you need to know a lot of things, or I need to know how to import the shoes, which company make the shoes, make the market research. I need to know a lot in order to start a shoe brand. No, I just need to start, but I need information before starting. But I start probably for. Okay, I need to be honest. My goal, I make a promise that for Monday I will make. I I had made the market research. Yesterday was Monday, bro. I guess today is Tuesday. Yes, yeah. And I promised to myself that was that for Monday I will make market research, and I failed. That's the reality. I failed. I have to make them market research. So trying not to fail because I'm failing a lot. I fail with content creation and fail with the streams. So I'm trying not to fail more. I'm so sorry. That's the truth because I want to be transparent with you guys. That was the hard truth. I'm not doing the enough. I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing the things I need to do in order to make $1,000,000. I just need to do the things I need to do. I need to fix my focus, bro. To fix my focus. And for tomorrow, I hope to have no. I hope to have time now. I will I will edit the video, the long format video I promised myself to do this week. Edit the long format video. I need to fix my focus. Okay, I learned this. Now I have to apply this. My main focus for this week is to edit the long format video. That's my main focus. Everything besides that, no matter, bro. No matter if I have a lot of things, no matter if I receive a call from my mom, no matter, bro. I need to fix my focus and focus on edit the long format video. That's what I need to do.
Fill it with the other 11 that are aligned, that feel good, that
Learn,
that are
apply.
crazy.
Learn, apply.
A couple years ago, I had this wild idea to donate 10,000 copies of Think and Grow Rich to every kid in my hometown as almost like an economic experiment in our city. That process of having those 12 goals is the first step because that'll give you your North Star. Where most people miss the opportunity is I then set up a habit to review that list 3 times a day. Think about it. Most people write a business plan or a life plan, and then after the first few weeks, they put it in a drawer and they never revisit it. Because I sit down and I have triggers set up in my life when I sit in my car, when I'm at my office, when I read in the morning, where I pull up my phone and it's in a note file and it's literally pinned at the top of my phone, and I just review. And that allows me to ask myself, how aligned is my calendar? What do I got going on today? When's the last time I did anything on that? It reminds me of a quote by Stephen Covey, which he says, the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. Essentially, if these are your goals, look at them and make sure your calendar reflects your goal. If you do that, you will be a freaking weapon. Then we have to choose our top 3 daily wins. Essentially, we have to be your goals, which he says, the main thing.
The main thing is keep the main thing the main thing. Wow. So confusing, but also true. The main thing is to keep the main thing.
To keep the main thing the main thing. Essentially.
Perfect.
We
By
have a quote by
Stephen Covey. Covey?
Stephen Covey, which he says the main
Stephen Covey. Stephen or Covey. Perfect.
main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. Essentially, if these are your goals, look at them and make sure your calendar reflects your goal. If you do that, you will be a freaking weapon. Then we have to choose our top 3 daily wins. Essentially, we have to ask ourselves, what are the projects that we move forward that if we win around, we'll get these things done? You know, a lot of these are projects, but I actually need to break it down into something tactical and tangible. So it has to be aligned with your goals. That's why they're 3 daily wins. If tangible things done. You know, a lot of these are projects, but I actually need to break it down into something wins. So do that, you will be a freaking weapon. Then we have to choose our
number 1, number 2. Define your 12 power goals. Second,
top 3 daily wins.
this is very important because I need to learn but also apply this information because I need to apply this information right now. Because right now I feel like I'm in burnout right now. So I need to apply, not only learn but also apply. Top daily wins. Okay, interesting.
Essentially, we have to ask ourselves, what are the projects that we move forward that if we win around, we'll get these things done? You know, a lot of these are projects, but I actually need to break it down into something tactical and tangible. So it has to be aligned with your goals. That's why they're 3 daily wins. If all I do is get those 3 things done for the day.
Okay, for me, top 3 daily wins. We're going to define my 3 top daily wins right now. First, record video. Record a video. Okay. Second, go live. It's very important I go live every single day, even if I have no viewers, bro. Because it's just matter of time. We learned in one of Alex Hormozzi's videos that it's just matter of time. Probably right now I have no viewers. Oh, okay, one viewer. Right now I got 1 viewer. But it's just matter of time.
I consider the day.
So choose your top 3 daily wins. The first daily win is record a video. The second, go live. Because I need to go live every single day. And third, probably workout. Go to the gym. I will start going to the gym. I start tomorrow, bro. So gym. Okay. These are my 3 daily wins. First, record a video. Second, go live. Third, go to the gym. If I continue with this routine again and again, day after day, I know that in a year from now I will have $1 million. If I want $1 million, I need to be more productive. And with these lessons that I'm learning, I know that I will be more productive.
Absolutely a winning day. And my mission every morning is to create what I call a winning streak. Start with a focus, get those things done, and everything else would backfill. All the got a second meetings, the conversation, the TikTok feed, the tweets, the requests, the text messages, all that will fill in. These are the big rocks. 3 things, 3 projects. I get them done, usually first thing in the morning, and everything else feels like gravy. And look, if you're a high-level entrepreneur juggling employees, meetings, travel, clients, a family that really wants you to be present at dinner, you know focus isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. That's why I created the perfect week.
Wait, what?
You know focus isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. That's why I created the perfect week template. It's the system I use to protect my deep work and ensure that my team has the rhythms, that I have the health and the relationships are maintained so I can be successful. I created this specifically for founders and operators with real responsibility. So if that's you and you want me to send it over to you for free, DM me the word YouTube week on Instagram at Dermar.
Okay, I'm going to do that thing right now because the lesson we learned was wait. The first lesson we learn is the 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes, just do it. I don't just want to learn, I want to apply, so I will apply this rule right now because this takes just 2 minutes, bro. 2 minutes to DM Dan Martel. Just take 2 minutes, so I will apply that because I need that. Okay, Dan Martel. Do you know that Mr. Beast never replied? Okay, is normal. He's one of the biggest YouTubers. He's the biggest YouTuber of all time. Dan Martel, I have the chat with Dan Martel here. Okay. DM YouTube week. Okay, YouTube week.
Martel, or click the link below in the description. I'll send you over a copy.
YouTube week. Okay. Week. Perfect. YouTube week. Take less than 2 minutes. So I learned this rule and then I apply this rule, bro. If I do these things, I know I'll be more productive, bro.
Now you know exactly what matters. But if you really want to be productive with your time, the next step is cutting everything that doesn't. Cut the crap.
Cut the crap. Okay, lesson number 3. Take notes, guys, please.
The next step is cutting everything that doesn't. Cut the crap. You don't need more to win, you need to do less. Most people fail in life from indigestion, not starvation, meaning they say yes to too many things at once. They get overwhelmed, and through that overwhelm, they don't feel productive. They get anxiety, they get stressed out. They got to take medication. It's wild what people will do to themselves.
Okay, right now I'm thinking that I want Dan Martel's book, bro. Amazon. Okay. Buy back your time. Buy back your time. But I don't want the paperback. I want the hardcore. Okay. I want this book, bro. I want this book. I will buy this book.
So instead of saying yes to everything because we think it's a game of addition, it's actually a game of subtraction. It's removing things out of your life so you can focus on the things that are
in the future. A billion is a promise to myself.
actually going to move it forward. The skill I would invite you to consider is a very deep, scientific, and powerful skill called the art of saying no. No is a complete sentence and it ends with a period. You don't have to give a reason. You can just check in with your heart and say, if it doesn't resonate, it's a no. My wife and I have this very simple rule. If it isn't a heck yeah, it's a hell no. If somebody's asking you to do something and that thing would be today or tonight, and the answer would be no, then I don't care if it's in 6 months. Make it a hard no. It's better to close the loops by making a decision, not leaving them open. See that 2-minute rule coming into play? Than to leave it as a maybe. You will stress yourself out around maybes. If you would jump out of bed to go do the thing that you're being asked to do, then yeah, do it. If it's a no, just say no. Put yourself first. So here are 3 ways to cut the crap out of your life and become more productive immediately. The first one, say no by default. It's a wild concept to consider that no matter what you're asked to do by other people, just say no. Now I know if you have a boss or you have clients, you might not want to do this because you'll probably get fired, but protect your calendar. Treat it like a bank account, that every time somebody asks you to do something, they're essentially
like a bank account. Perfect.
asking for you to give them money because they are. It's your time. You just don't realize it. Every day has 86,400 seconds. Think about that as in dollar bills. Every time somebody asks, hey, you got a second? They're not asking for a second. They're asking for maybe $17, maybe $60. Like, what are they asking for? And if you wouldn't give them that, protect it, which then allows you to choose how you use your time, which I'm going to get into in a second. If it aligns with your goals, then it's an easy yes. If it doesn't, then you say no. But be careful, because there's this middle ground of things that will stretch you, that will scare you, that will put you outside of your comfort zone. And I don't want you to get too quick to say no. If it aligns with your goal and it pushes you outside of your comfort zone, those are the ones that are yes. So next, we have to audit your time weekly. Every Sunday, I want you to take some time to look at the previous week and ask yourself what worked and what didn't. The stuff that worked, run the play. The stuff that didn't,
Okay, this lesson is super powerful.
Sunday, I want you to take some time to look at the previous week and ask
Sunday.
yourself what worked and what didn't. The stuff that worked, run the play. The stuff that didn't, cancel, cut, clear it, fix it. And then on a monthly basis, look at your previous month and then create a thing called the kill list. Essentially eliminate any task, any reoccurring stuff that don't support your dreams. Have no mercy. If you don't, you won't create the space to do the work that's going to push your life forward. And you do that by either deleting, delegating, automating, or just
Kill list. Deleting, delegating. Automating.
doing the work. And last, leading, delegating, automating, or just doing.
Automating. Perfect.
The work. And last, one of my favorite, simplest, easiest, and easily the most productive is pretty much live in DND mode. DND mode is, yes, on your phone. Right now, my phone is do not disturb. But by default, you should literally get rid of all your distractions. For those that are willing to follow along, and I want you to leave a comment below and let me know if you did it, go into your notifications and turn them all off. Oh, I know. You're going, I can't. What about my calendar? What about my messages from my friends?
notification. But the truth is, I don't have notifications. I don't use IG notifications or TikTok notifications. No, TikTok. Yes, TikTok notifications. I will turn off TikTok notifications. Okay, because I have TikTok notifications. Notifications. Okay. I turn off my notifications, my TikTok notifications.
What I know. Here's what I've discovered. We allow these tools to take away from our life, our distractions, our focus. And all I would say is schedule time to plug in. Either
I focus all. I don't focus when I see TikTok notifications. The first thing I do is open and watch how many likes, look at the likes that my video got, and that distract me a lot. So I turn off my TikTok notifications right now.
for me 11:30 or 4:30, but I also even use the time when I'm doing my fasted cardio in the morning to do all my Slack messages. I've blocked these times to plug in. I don't let the apps distract me. I'm so easily distracted with my ADHD that, like I said, I had to create these systems
my TikTok notifications, so I'm okay.
so that I could just be productive. It turned into be a massive level up. Turn it off. I dare you. Turn it off. And then you decide when you want to plug into an app. Notifications add so much crap into our life that we need to learn how to cut it. If you do this, you'll be way more focused on what matters most. All right. So once you've cleared all that noise all over the place, it's time to optimize your productivity for your most important resource. Protect your peaks. Believe it or not, time is technically not your most valuable resource. It's your energy. I don't care how productive you want to be if your body is like shutting down, your brain is fried, you will not create your body is like
time is not your most valuable resource. It's your energy.
I don't care how productive you want to be if
super
you're
powerful that lesson. Time is not your most valuable resource. It's your energy. Most of the time, I I think like all the time my most valuable resource was my time, bro. I spend my life thinking that my most valuable resource is my time. But this is true, it's your energy. Because if you don't have energy, no matter how much time you have, probably you will never do the things you need to do in order to achieve your goals. So, yeah, energy is your most valuable resource, bro.
body is like shutting down, your brain is fried, you will not create your best work. That is energy. Every person has natural energy peaks. So you got to protect it like it's sacred ground. When you line up your toughest work, your most creative work, your most challenging work with your peak hours of productivity, you get way more done with way less effort. For me, it's mornings. It's my deep work. Do not allow just anybody to come in during your peak time, your peak energy to create and distract you. The way I think about it is the energy that I put into something is felt out of it by the people consuming it. So my energy flows where my attention goes. I can't be distracted if I'm trying to do big things. Here's a wild thought that I had one day is that early in the morning or late at night, if you think about it, everybody else in the world, they're actually horizontal. They're sleeping, they're dreaming. And I think the reason why most people do the most creative work then is because the connection to their creator is thin, right? Everybody else is sleeping and they're dreaming so that you can tap into that energy. I know it's wild. There may not be any science to back it up, but I will tell you, when I create in the morning, connected to my creator, I come up with the most amazing and beautiful and elegant solutions to my biggest problems. So here are 2 simple and powerful ways to maximize your energy and protect your peaks. The first is we have to do an energy audit. We talked about doing a time audit. Now we got to
Okay.
The first is we have to do an energy audit. We talked about doing a time audit. Now we got to look at energy. We have to look throughout our week and our day. What are the things that take our energy? And what I've discovered is that most people already have these natural flows. Like maybe in the morning it's really productive, and in the afternoon is when you prefer to be talking to people. That's what I do. I don't do any meetings before 11 a.m. Why? Because that work is for me. Once I invest in me, then the rest of the world can get me. But guess what? They'll get a better version of me because I know that that morning was spent doing things that are going to move my dreams forward, my goals forward, my tasks forward. And then when I show up, I'm present with them. I'm not thinking about stuff that I should be doing later on. I'm not giving myself an out in the morning because I know I'm going to get back on my laptop after I put the kids to bed. And if you do that and you honor those energy flows, then it creates a rhythm. I know you've had these moments. They're usually the day before you have to go on vacation, where you wake up because you have all this stuff you got to do and you honor that task list, you honor that calendar, and you're just like, oh my God, I got so much done today. Why can't every day be like this? It can be. Look at what happened. Look at your energy levels and try to replicate it. The other one is exhaust the body, tame the mind. I believe most
Okay. Lesson number 2.
other one is exhaust the body, tame the mind. I believe most people have to take medication or self-medicate or do whatever they can to try to be focused because they don't get their body moving. I got this concept from an old Stoic quote that said that we treat the body rigorously so that it won't be disobedient to the mind. As somebody who suffers with ADHD, I have to move my body every day. Like I work out first thing in the morning, and when I work out, I push to the point past pain because there's something that happens in that pump. It actually clears my brain. It's the weirdest thing. It's almost like a chiropractic alignment of my mind at the gym. So if you've never tried it, do it. Most people go like, oh, I'm going to be so tired after the gym. Opposite. It's the funniest thing. It's like I've never left the gym feeling tired more so than how I felt going in. I like to put my most difficult.
I will apply that tomorrow. Tomorrow I will go to the gym in the morning, 7 a.m. Earlier? No, probably not earlier. at 7 a.m. probably.
Task right after the gym. My most creative tasks like this right
Whoa,
after the
like
gym.
that.
Why?
Always
Because
I
that's
want
when it's
I
going to
want to
get my
like
best
all.
work. My mind is primed after I work out because I exhaust the body, tame the mind. And your gym could be as simple as putting a weighted vest and going for a walk. It could be as simple as doing 100 air squats. It doesn't have to be complicated. You'll be surprised how much more productive you'll be. So now we got our body and our energy and our mind right, but none of that will actually make you more productive if you don't follow this next step, which is setting up simple systems. This is a universal truth. Systems beat motivations every single day of the week. A lot of people ask me, like, I don't know how you stay so motivated. I'm not. I just follow the system. I make it easy for me to win. I just have checklists that I have a little bit of discipline to start with and review it. And the best part, the more you build your life, the more people you'll have in your life, the more you'll coordinate with other people to do life, and they will keep you accountable to the system. Like my whole team works out. When we travel, we work out. I literally think they would probably be like, uh-oh, something's wrong with Dan, if they texted me or I texted them and said, I'm not going to the gym tomorrow. So that's the whole point, is that everybody has goals, as James Clear says. But it's the systems that create the winners, not the size of the goal you wrote down on a paper. It's almost
Wait.
systems that create the winners,
Systems
not the
create winners, not the size of the goal. Wow.
size of the goal you wrote down on a paper. It's almost gotten to the point where I just make it hard on myself to fail. For example, when I was writing my book, Buy Back Your Time, I said to myself, I will sit down and I will write every day. And I sat there and I wrote every day. I think I made it to like 22 days.
That seems
And
that is AI, bro. Hmm. Seems like AI, bro.
And I sat there
Looks
and I
like
wrote every day.
AI.
I think I made it to like 22 days. And then I realized I hated it and I didn't want to do it. And then I missed one day and one day turned into 3 days. And then I wrote a little bit and then I didn't touch it for weeks. That was not a winning system. What I then changed was that I hired somebody, his name is Ron, and I said, you be the book CEO. You hold me accountable. You're the expert. I will work for you. So I created a system with Ron where we actually co-created this project called Buy Back Your Time, this beautiful blue book that's helped millions of
I
people.
want that.
I had to create a system
but
that I
first
couldn't
need
fail
to
at
finish
by making it
100 million
other.
offers, because right now, guys, right now, I'm reading this book by Alex Hormozzi. Then I will read 100 million leads, and then probably I want to read Buy Back Your Time, bro. I think that the most powerful books are this book. This book is super powerful. What's your dream, bro? Wow, super powerful. Also, I want to have 100 million money models and Buy Back Your Time. I think that with those books, I will be unstoppable. I will be limitless. I will be limitless with those books. Right now, I'm reading this book. Okay. Let's continue with the video.
People's dreams and goals for me to support. Because I learned a long time ago.
Okay, I have 0 viewers, but in the future I will have 3 billion viewers. I know that, and $1 million. I really know that.
And I don't know if this is true for you, I will do way more for somebody else than I will ever do for myself. I mean, it's a challenge as you have more success in life to keep the hunger going when you don't need anything. And the way I do it is I make commitments to other people, and that cheat code has got me incredible.
Just when you make commitments to other people, it's more easy, bro. When you make commitments to yourself, I feel that is harder. I feel like it's harder. I don't know why. But when you have a commitment with other people, with other person, it's more easy. For me.
Incredibly productive. Systems, it's a fun acronym. It stands for save yourself time, energy, money, and stress.
Okay, wow. Interesting acronym. Save yourself time, energy, money, stress.
So here are a few strategies that you can use today to build systems that literally buy back your time. The first one is we have to batch our work. There's no world literally buy back your time. The first one is we have to
Batch your work.
batch our work. There's no world where the same work sprinkled out throughout your week makes sense when the ramp up time in your brain has to be focused. I call this batch work. So for example, if I'm doing sales calls, put all your sales calls together. If you're doing content, put all your content together. If you're doing operational meetings, put all your operational meetings together. Think of it this way, because everybody thinks you can multitask. You can't. It's an illusion. I don't care who you are. I will prove it to you. If I asked you to count to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 26, how fast could you do it? A lot of people pretty quick. What about A, B, C, D, E, F, G? Really quick. Most people, if you do those back to back, it'd be like 23, 26 seconds. If I then ask you to go 1A, 2B, 3C, and onward, not only will it take you 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, most people can't do it because the brain can't switch. If you can just focus on one task and get them all done and stack those as batch meetings, it will make you lethally productive. And it's because of the neuroscience behind it. It's actually called cognitive switching. And when you're doing tasks that cause you to go from different sides of the brain, analytical versus creative, it's just not a winning strategy. The second is DRY, and it's an acronym. It stands for Don't Repeat Yourself. As a program, DRY, and it's an acronym. It stands for Don't Repeat yourself. As a programmer, I learned this when I was 17, that if I'm going to write some code, put it in a place where I don't have to repeat myself, and then I can reference it every other time I need it. Simple concept, changed my life. Every time you make, if I'm going to write some code, put it in a place where I don't have to repeat myself, and then I can, don't repeat yourself. As a programmer, I learned this when I was 17, that if I'm going to write some code, put it in a place where I don't have to repeat myself, and then I can reference it every other time I need it. Simple concept, changed my life. Every time you make a decision about a preference, is that saved in a preference file? Now, I know you may not need somebody to help you today, but what about in the future when you want somebody else to do something for you? If you have all your preferences in a file, you can give them the preference file. On the other end of the spectrum, I have a document called Working with Dan. What is that? Exactly what it sounds like. I have a document that introduces what it's like to work with me. Why? I work differently. Think about everything I just shared with you. So when new people get put on my team, I give them the document. And then that way, I don't have to repeat myself. I don't have to tell them how I like to talk or meetings or structure or anything. It's all in the document. That, to me, is the concept of don't repeat yourself. So create checklists, create systems, follow them, because the more you do it, then you'll have the playbook to have somebody else do it for you. That's called proper delegation. Imagine how much time you would save if you never had to repeat yourself. The third is the 10-80-10 rule, and this one will change your life, because a lot of people have a hard time letting go because they're very creative and they feel that their unique vision and approach to stuff is their fingerprint, which I get. But I know that at scale, across all these different creative industries, from book writing to software development to branding, there are people that have built massive companies by not being involved in every project, but influence every project. Did you know Tom Clancy? If you ever seen his books or video games, he's been dead for like 15 years. And he's a best-selling author last week and the month before and the month before and the month before. Why? He used the 10-80-10 rule to have other people write like him. This is available to every mom, to every leader, to every CEO. The way it works is very simple. You want to be involved when you're delegating any project in the first 10%. I call that the ideation phase. That's where you sit down and you say, directionally speaking, consider this, here's the outcome we want to achieve, and give all of your inputs, resources, relationship, connections, and encourage to achieve, and give all of your inputs, resources, relationship, connections, and encourage the team or the people to use those to move forward on the project. The other 80% is the execution. This is where the team does 80% of the work, is the
Wait. I need to take notes.
execution. This is where the team does 80% of the work. They actually go all the way to the end. Think about like Steve Jobs with Johnny Ives. He used to come into the design studio, talk to Johnny about the vision he had for a product. Then Johnny would sit down with his team and take all that time to build prototypes and get it to a place where there's a real product. And then the last 10% is actually integration. And that's where you can come back at the end and you go, okay, let's make these little tweaks here. And then I'm going to be involved in making sure that it reaches the market the way I feel like it. So that could be doing the press tour if you're an author. That could be doing the podcast tour. That could be Steve Jobs on stage at the event announcing a new product. And finally, number 4, standardize your meetings. I can't tell you how valuable this is. If that you create rhythms in your life from work to tell you how valuable this is. Number 4
is standardized meetings. Okay.
Standardize your meetings. I can't tell you how valuable this is. If that you create rhythms in your life from work to personal that allows you to stay on track so everything is moving towards achieving the life you want to live. I do this for every meeting. I don't go to a meeting unless it has an agenda. My reoccurring meetings are few but very powerful. I'm very clear about what my expectations are, and I even do it for my personal life. Today, actually, we have our family meeting where we sit down and we have a structure to that meeting that's written out the agenda, and we go over every aspect of our life every week. Why? Because I want to make sure we're always aligned. It's one-on-one time, because busy families sometimes forget that that one-on-one time is where you have these beautiful conversations and moments that otherwise might get missed. Standardizing my meetings, because I already have the rhythm from doing my time and energy audit from before, is a game changer for productivity. Every meeting should have these 5 things. First, you should have an agenda. The other is you have a project owner, what I call a DRI, direct responsible individual, like who owns a meeting. And guess what? It's rarely me. 3, what are the decisions we want to make in this meeting? 4th is what are the next steps? Do we have them? And then when are the deadlines for those decisions?
Agenda approach. See. Next steps.
If you make sure every meeting has this, you will become incredibly productive. And if you don't, it's just noise. If you build these into your daily, monthly, and yearly systems, you'll see yourself get way more productive way faster. Now, I know when I share these strategies with people, they usually push back, especially if they're creative, especially if they're people that they just want to like be a little bit more free in life. Because it can sound like a lot of systems, it can sound like a lot of structure, and a lot of people don't like structure. What you may not realize is that if you want to be creative, then you have to have constraints. It's always been that way. The more you have constraints, the more creative you can be, because it allows you to be present. If you actually want to be freer and have more time to feel creative, then having structure is the way. And remember, if you want to download my exact structure for designing my perfect week that has helped me buy back like 30 hours a week, just DM me the word YouTube week on Instagram or just click the link below in the description and I'll send that over to you. Next up, if you want to learn how to get rich without luck, talent, or a freaking trust fund, click here and I'll see you on the other side.
Okay. Like, was very helpful. Very helpful. So powerful. So powerful. Very powerful. Okay. Okay, it has been like an hour.
This is a guide to creative operations. The modern conundrum is how do you manage product development, content strategy, building a brand, and living
question for you, bro.
your own life as a
Do you
creative.
want to learn with this video with me, or do you want to watch me play Zelda? Drop in the comments, bro. Do you want to watch me play Zelda, or do you want to watch this video with me? Okay, the science of building a premium brand. Watch the video. Okay, perfect. Perfect, bro. Okay, the title is The Science of Building a Premium Brand. I choose this video because I want to create a shoe brand, and I want to apply all these concepts to the shoe brand and also to my personal brand. Let's watch the video.
This is a guide to creative operations. The modern conundrum is, how do you manage product development, content strategy, building a brand, and living your own life as a creative? And the truth is, every arc is really different, and that's okay. In this video, we talk with 3 businesses here in London about their very unique journeys. How Earl of East built their fragrance label and retail all the way up to 2 stores before they even left their jobs. How About Blank built a monster clothing line in just 4 years through relentless focus. And how our friends Alan Reggie and Wholesales started as curators into resellers. This now led to Wholesales breaking off into his own brand's standard format. And videos about this have been one of our most requested topics. How do you start out? How do you begin curating? How do you keep this alive? What's the pressure like to focus on a brand or live your life together? And we're super excited to walk through these journeys with you and then share some tips on how to think about your brand and your content in this modern era and actually build a strategy for creative operations. So Clayton's got the Stony on. We're gonna go get kicked out of Fordham and Mason and lock in. So in this video, we talk a lot about journeys and arcs and how people got to where they are with their brands and their creative journey. The real creative operations, creative strategy comes down to what interesting, standout, unique things do you do to actually make your brand resonate. And you've got some incredible examples I'm excited to hear.
One of the first examples I want to touch on is Pain World, a new and interesting independent footwear brand. And before they ever launched a single product, they were generating thousands and thousands of followers from their email list and social accounts by seeding out product to influencers and having them post about the product. There was no paid ads, there was no billboards, it was just generating interest through people who have genuinely good taste and using that as a lever to be in the right circles. By the time they launched, they already had a huge funnel with demand on their website. So I think what goes into the operational side of a product launch is having a plan for a content in the first place, seeding it to the right people, and creating momentum, which leads to greater brand.
Wait, I need to take notes. Take notes is very important and helpful.
And distribution before you even launch.
And probably one of the most interesting niches that I think we're all talking about is tennis. Is continued to, like, everyone thought it would peak during COVID. There's like a resurgence. Everyone's kind of waiting for a challenger brand, but then one brand's been standing out in particular, right?
Yeah, what's interesting about a lot of these individual sport brands like golf and cycling and running is that they've all had their own respective renaissance moments, but tennis is one that has sort of stood on the outside looking in and is sort of waiting for this clear player in the market to step in and fill the void. And I think a brand like Spence, that's based in the US, is doing a really good job by having a clear POV through their creative. And
I think that right now I'm creating momentum before even launch, because I'm speaking about the shoe brand that I want to create. Okay, are you trying to create a self-brand with YouTube? Yes, right now I'm trying to create a personal brand. So, and also I want to launch a shoe brand. And that's my plan for the future. And that's the reason why I go live every day and I study all this content and try to apply all this content, because associations are really powerful. I'm trying to create associations. People associate me with this type of content, with improving, with ambition. That's what I'm trying to build, and I think that I'm creating momentum right now because I'm speaking about the shoe brand that I want to launch. So I just need to create more momentum, probably with the reels and shorts, YouTube shorts. I'm speaking about the shoe brand. That will be very helpful, probably.
art direction. So whether you're auditing their email marketing, their social content, their video, their art direction, it is crystal clear that they're operationally building a brand that has a distinct philosophy, because you want your customer to buy into your perspective and not just the product. So at a time when individual sports
As a viewer, can I offer some suggestions? Yes, sure. You can give me some suggestions, bro. Obviously. I will appreciate that a lot.
are having their respective first movers. There's something really important about being the first mover because you get to own and dictate how you present yourself to the consumer.
Yeah, and I think that first mover happens in generations, right? Where it's like, we've had these brands around forever, like who's moving inside of a new position or a new moment or a new kind of piece of cultural resurgence. And if you're passionate about something, it's about kind of preparing yourself for that right time when the consumer's ready for it.
Yeah, I think it's a good reminder too that just because a category is quiet doesn't mean that it's dead. There's always room, as you've said, to have ripe disruption into specific categories, regardless of price point.
All right, let's go dive into some creator operations.
Any suggestion is reciprocal. If you want to give me some suggestions, I will appreciate that a lot. Zero viewers. What happened?
Go pour some candles and see where it takes us.
Yes, boys, how are we doing? All right? Give you guys a little tour. So everyone obviously works in here. Downstairs, We've got a nice gifting lounge, plus all of our kind of sampling production. Over here is when we have like meetings. And over here is obviously where we have current collections. This is AW25, drop 1, drop 2, and then it goes into the rest of the year up until December. This is all our core caps. Caps are probably our second biggest category at the moment. They're flying out. We've obviously got quite a custom fit and shape. It's taken us so long to get it right as well. We're both so specific.
Okay, learn about some proportions and your reading really good, but it needs some kind of flow. Some kind of flow. Okay. Some kind of flow. How can I add the flow that you're speaking about? Flow. With flow, do you mean like presence? Like being myself? That's what you mean? Try to be myself in the videos? It depends on your subject. For example, when you're walking out of a doorway, keep yourself center. Okay. Okay. I will apply that. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much. I want to apply that. I will take notes of your suggestions because that helped me a lot, bro. That helps me a lot. Okay, I will take notes in another page. Or, you know what? I will write something like subscriber suggestions. Flow. Thank you so much, bro. One pro tip is that have some emotions while talking so that the edit goes with your voice as a flow. Okay, I will take notes. Pro tip. I'm taking notes of your suggestions, bro. Right here. Thank you so much. Pro tip. Also, the voice background noise is a little bit irritating. I would suggest a podcast to clear background sounds free. Okay, I can try. I can try. But I use CapCut for edition. But I will have that in mind, bro. Thank you so much. I'm taking notes about your pro tips. Switch between a roll and B-roll so that the audience and you should never keep your source stationary. That's the key. Okay, let me take notes and we continue with the video. Reduce park. Okay, reduce background noise. Um, and switch between a roll and B-roll. Okay. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. I will apply that. I'm not only taking notes about all this conversation, but I want to apply what you uh, say to me. Thank you
Specific
so
about what we
much.
wanted and how we wanted it to look. It took us honestly nearly 2 years to get it right.
For those who don't know, I previously had a menswear Instagram page, which was like heavily influenced on curating other content. It was called NCL Gallery. So when Perry and I started, that was going to be a main driver to actually push the brand. It was like an interesting time in the social media landscape. Like Reels were just starting up. TikTok was obviously on the rise hugely. So we just tried to use our existing skills and like put like a strategy in place and sort of ran with it. It helps if you have experience elsewhere or things that you can try elsewhere. So for example, if you're doing your own personal content creation and you want to start doing reels where you talk to camera or you want to curate things like that. Make a video every day or make 1,000 videos and then your 1,000 video will be good because you just figure out what works and what doesn't. And I think having other platforms and other pages can help you like navigate that because you can apply different things.
Your strategy shifted a lot. Where you guys were really focused on carousels, great editorial, stuck with it. You started having some more video and campaigns and stuff. What have you seen? How's the brand kind of evolved in content over time?
We started off really getting a lot of traction from reels, and it was very fast. It was a lot of behind the scenes, like a mood board in a reel with a little bit of product in it. We developed that further and started to have more sort of cinematic videos and a little bit more behind the scenes rather than like the mood film sort of stuff. I think that's like a good pointer for brands starting out, because what people don't realize is when you're doing a shoot, especially when you have low budgets, having one background, one camera position, you can run through like 20 looks in like half a day. That's what we used to do.
So on the topic of product drops, you mentioned you do monthly drops as a brand. I'm curious just what your views are on the idea of a drop as a brand.
I feel like people are definitely starting to get more fatigued. As you grow, it's harder to have those drops have such an impact because you have more product, you have more customers, you want to have people who buy every day. I think when you're starting out as a small company or an individual, it's a great way to sort of get everything in a chronological order. So you design around an idea or a theme, build the hype, and then try and transition into more of an evergreen process with those drops.
Walk us through some of the creative process or the mechanics behind
how you bring that drop to life.
Well, this autumn winter has been a little bit different for us, where we haven't tied ourselves to themes so much and more build themes around product. So for example, we have some puffer jackets. One of our big things is like versatility and showing the full look and how to style it. And then we're thinking, right, what is the key points of the puffer? The big ones like versatility, it's not too overpriced. We want to show it obviously in these different locations and settings to show that it's warm, it's like water resistant, things like that. And then work back from there, looking at what's been done, looking at what we can do, looking at what our budget is, which is generally 10% of what the whole commercial value of the shoot is. So we try and work with that on like a ballpark figure. And then in terms of content formats, lookbook is strong. We're trying to do more like static shots on the details and things like that. And then video for reel and also video carousels is something that we're trying to do more of now as well.
Well, love to see you guys out here crushing.
Oh, thanks for coming by. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, likewise.
So we started Earl of East nearly 11 years ago. It kind of happened by accident. We had Earl of East started as a journal. We eventually were like, we should just do something and start making. So we started making at home. We have friends in LA, we used to go often, and we were like, there's this big craft scene here and there's no one doing it in the UK. And so we started a candle brand, we started trading at the market. And I think because of the market and where it was in London Fields, it started to open doors for us. Like we were featured in New York Times really early on, or the market was as a whole. And we were just like, okay, this is something. It went from being like a weekend thing to taking over every minute that wasn't the 9 till 5.
So one of the things that I think is most interesting about the brand is that you are visionaries in the way that you're building it. Was that always the vision for you? You wanted to build something bigger than just making a simple candle and selling it to friends, or has that evolved as you've grown the business?
You know what's nice about starting something and never really intending for it to become a brand is you say yes to a lot of stuff. From the very first market stall, it was always just more than our own product. We always kind of curated other brands. It was always for us about working with best in category, because then that became the playing field for us. So working with, you know, like a Firm Living or a Hay in homeware becomes your playing field, but then we became the add-on product and also the thing that they would come back for. So it was a really good way to kind of build a customer base.
I'm curious, you have a really wide range of products. You've developed all kinds of interesting things. Obviously, some are passion, some are business choices. You know, what's the process with which you bring something new out and decide we want to make this real?
I think there's always an element of feeling fulfilled in what it is we do and enjoying it and learning. Often we also release products because they're just necessary, because the customers have asked for it. Because if you look at the catalog, it's clearly missing. There's a gap and we should fill it.
That's a really important thing for a lot of other brands to look at for themselves and be like, we are not just making products that we like, but we're making stuff that the customer actually wants. And there's a delicate balance between the two. I'm curious how you think about that.
One of the things that always comes back to us is you're unique in that you don't just have one bestseller. So for us, what we did is we looked at it and said we should invest in the scent family. Candles, incense, air fresheners, room sprays, lots of different touch points for people to be able to invest into their favourite scent. You know, our amber jar candles are quite minimal. The cafe line is the opposite of that. And then we were like, let's do a Dynamug, which is iconic, which can be refilled, and do sustainability, but in a fun, novel way, and see if it sticks.
What was the evolution of making all this in-house, beginning to work with other brands?
Because you could save a lot of money probably if you outsourced things to different places. But yeah, I think it is special to have a singular place where everything happens at once.
The pandemic came at a point where we, 6 months out, had just transitioned into it being full-time and it paying for us to live. And so we were always like, doesn't matter what happens, we'll be fine, because we've got workshops, we have D2C and we have wholesale. We were also fresh out of advertising. So we'd been having conversations in that first 6 months about, do we just outsource stuff, and do we kind of position ourselves more like a creative studio as a brand, keep the team small. The first thing we did is we went, who's got money? And I'd spent 15 years in media knowing that there was a lot of money and nowhere to spend it. We were bankrolled by like Pinterest and Meta and Google, all of which like in that pandemic were like, we have budget and we need to show love to our clients. Anyone who didn't have the full control and weren't...
Pro tip: vertical integration is a superpower.
fully vertically integrated. They couldn't do anything. So we became like a client care pack business. For us, once we'd had that experience, we were like, that's our superpower. Having designers in-house, investing in creative and content, producing the product, formulating the scents, having retail stores, whilst it comes with a lot of overheads, also gives us a competitive edge.
It's basically where we make everything. Everything is handmade by the team. And yeah, over there we're just getting prepared to pull more of the cafe collection that we've kind of mentioned.
Yep.
I can eyeball. Oh yeah.
There we go.
The seasonal helpers.
That's right. I'm available for contract. I have 2 kids. They could help. They might not be very helpful.
So where the magic happens. So what do we walk into here? We came in through an art gallery downstairs. What do you guys have going on in our...
So this is like the first shop in the building. It's my shop. It's just my name, shop.alanreggie. And I mainly do Japanese brands like CDG, Issey-Miyake, but I also do some European labels like Armani, Hugo Boss. And it's mostly vintage from around the 90s, early 2000s. And everything is shoppable in here, basically.
You guys started kind of reselling more casually, but then it built into these really interesting combinations of like archives, retail. How do you even describe what you've got going on here?
Me and Louis just started off as really like collectors. We're very much into everything we sell. At the start, we were just showcasing what we were kind of collecting, and then some pieces we were selling on the side, and that kind of just built it into like a whole another world. Everything we do is quite unique, so obviously the brands like that because they can find unique references, but I think we're getting a lot of like just regular consumers who realize that they don't really want the new thing that's the new reference, they want the originals.
Another pro tip. Pro tip, the market is shifting. People are chasing originals, not copies. Focus on authenticity and unique offerings. Authenticity and unique offerings. Perfect.
I just finished a pop-up where for 1 week the whole shop was vintage CDG basically.
This is, I mean, probably more CDG than anyone's seen in a room, even including in a CDG store. So how do you research? How do you kind of get into the lore of it? How do you kind of experience a brand as a more of an archivist?
CDG was like one of the first brands I ever bought. You know, it's just about learning about all the labels and all the years and all the eras that they had, basically. Yeah, I really like this one because it's quite an unusual take on a leather jacket.
I tried it on earlier. Disclaimer, it did not fit.
Everything's just very subtle. Like, this is from, I believe, 99. Not many people would know that like CDG did this in the 90s, and that's like my favorite thing, because across all the labels, they've probably done everything at some point.
I'm also interested, Louis, to check out your space upstairs so that we can see just the balance between the sportswear side and some of the nostalgic sportswear that you can pair and merge with standard format. If you're down, let's go check out the collection.
Yeah, literally, I just pulled it right out the
Yeah,
film
that
reflective.
one's nuts. Yeah, this one's a 1988 Stone Island helicopter.
Wow.
I love the like liquid effect on the mesh as well.
What's the process of which you decide, like, hey, this makes sense for my store, this makes sense for the page?
I'm sure it's the same with Alan and Tom as well. I literally only sell what I would wear myself, but there's loads of brands out there that also experiment in the technical space that might be interesting. It's more from a case if you can pick a piece up and talk about it for 20 minutes, then that's kind of the stuff that I would put in here, to be honest. These are some of the more iconic pieces. This is from the same collection I just previously spoke about, which is called Nike Code. So this is all like 1 of 1,000 Nike. And yeah, these are pretty iconic too. This literally is what blew up the page. I got contacted by a seller that happened to be in Pakistan, of all places, that just had a box and was just like, I've got a box of these if you want them. And I was like, are you for real? Is this a scam? And yeah, that kind of helped obviously project the business forward, but yeah.
Louis, thanks for showing us around the upstairs space. Oren and my partners will thank us for not spending all our monthly rent here.
So we covered a lot inside these conversations about everything around a brand's arc, but now it's time to get tactical about actual creative operations and creative strategy. And I want to start with this idea of the funnel. I think a lot of creatives, even modern marketing people, are taught that like the funnel is a bad word, when really it's the core of how you want to think about any piece of marketing that's happening in the world or how your brand approaches the market. At the top of the funnel, you have brand awareness, how people learn about your brand. In the middle of the funnel, people actually begin to grow affinity to your brand. And then at the bottom of the funnel, they actually do the conversion. But you have to think about this in terms of your creative strategy as well. What initiatives do you have that are filling that top of the funnel? So for instance, in the first example that Clayton gave earlier about a shoe company that was seeding out to influencers, they used that to start top of funnel, leveraging others' influence to do it. Then you have to have a recurring strategy for how you educate and let people learn more about the product over time, and that middle of the funnel strategy, which most brands do on social media, but we're seeing a lot of new strategies for this now. Some brands are opening up their communities. Outlier NYC pushes people to Reddit and to Discord to learn about what their products look like, so you can actually engage one-to-one with other owners and customers. And then the bottom of the funnel, you actually have to have an emphasis on how do you sell. This is why I always love to bring up the examples of people like Wholesales. That's a classic example of someone that curated, who developed their own unique sense of taste, that had an idea about design, but until you're actually selling things and taking money from people and realizing, whether it's reselling an item or selling an initial product online, that's actually a really personal relationship, that there's a sales process there. That's something a lot of creatives don't think about, and a lot of marketing people try to remove themselves from. It's actually crucial and really important, and the more you are in that process, especially as you're learning, is super important. But let's shift over into social in general. I want to share a bit of a social framework that any brand can look at to actually improve. And I've built a set of particular frameworks and strategies I think are really applicable and every brand should look at for their creative operations. So most brands have content pillars. This is 4 or 5 types of content that they do recurringly. But basically break down your content into 4 core pillars and then actually begin to measure it. And you can say, of these 4 buckets, and we do 3 of one every month and 5 of one every month, and then asking, how did it do better this 30 days than it did the previous 30 days? Comparing apples to apples, what product type is going well, how you're working to improve it. And when you measure social media, it's important to look at it over something like a month, because it takes time for content to settle in and marinate, and context matters. But then within the pillar system, it's important to think about improvement, making a decision point for every pillar to say, this month we're going to work on improving our educational carousels by doing X. This gives you a framework and a strategy that you can repeat. So making a decision point for every pillar to say, within the pillar system, it's important to think about improvement, making a decision point for every pillar to say, this month we're going to work on improving our educational carousels by doing X. This gives you a framework and a strategy that you can repeat that actually allows you to measure what you're doing, make a plan for getting better at it, and most importantly, explain it to people that don't understand social media to know that you're working in a metric-driven process. So all of that will be kind of outlined in that creative ops guide we have, but it's a really crucial way to thinking about your content. And then next, there's this idea of campaigns. When you actually launch something, you want to put out critical content, have some like really big moment that you're engineering. But the new format is really creating more like 9 to 15 pieces of content that cover kind of your unveil of the first time someone sees it, the actual launch, some of the BTS, like turning those shoots into multiple shots on goal that can all work as organic video with viral potential and can potentially work as advertising. And related to that, thinking about your content like an ecosystem. It's not just about the content you create, it's about what all your employees create, your influencers that you work with, what your customers do, who you're seeding and sending free product to. And even when you're on a shoot, if the makeup artist has 15,000 followers and they're posting, or you can add that into a contract, it builds this really interesting tapestry that is your brand's creative world that goes beyond your brand. And the last piece I want to talk about that forms the foundation of this content strategy from your core pillars is this idea of reactive content. If you've worked at a brand, you've worked in content, you've probably been sent something in Slack that's like, Taylor Swift has dropped a new album, we need to post something. And oftentimes you'll go whip up something bad that doesn't even get approved anyway. What most brands need to be reactive is an actual framework for reaction. And it works like this. First is how you decide if you participate in something or not. And basically you have to ask yourself, is this something my consumer cares about? Do we have bandwidth to actually do something on this well? If you answer yes to both those questions, move on. But if you have no for whatever reason, hey, our consumer doesn't care, or hey, guess what? We're actually not that good at responding within 24 hours to a Taylor Swift album, maybe we shouldn't do it, then you actually know where you stand. And then the second thing is, how do we have a lens with which we attack this in a unique way? I feel like savvy brands are starting to think like, hey, if something culturally happens, we have a recurring voice that participates in it. What are the easy ways we have to respond? Because a lot of this is about speed. It's about saying this thing happened, we're gonna get a response out. And the more organized you are to say, here's our decision framework, and we're saying no because we say no for this reason, that's how your brand actually participates inside of this economy. Hopefully that was a bit of a framework to help you get thinking about how tactically you approach creative operations for your brand, while also having all the context of the brands we talked to. You can download the full creative ops guide in the description of this video. And as always, thank you so much from Clayton, myself, and the team at Air for watching.
Powerful. Thank you so much. Okay, we learn a lot. I take a lot of notes, like 8 pages of information, bro. I feel 8 pages with information. Okay, wow, super powerful. Right now, that's all I have for today. That's all I have for today, but I want to try new things. So, wait a minute. Perfect. I said that I will try new things, so we're going to play Zelda for a while. Let me share with you. Okay, perfect. Wait. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. It wasn't this part. Something is happening with the sound. Perfect, but I can't hear that. I can't hear. You can hear, but I can't. I don't know why. Oh, damn it. Wait a minute. I can't hear it. What's happening? What's going on? Wait. I remember. It's perfect. Right now I can hear it. Okay. Let's play Zelda BOTW. I was in this part and I didn't know what to do. I have no idea what to do next. I was dying again and again and again. Okay, I just want to explain why I am playing this game. Because the title is trying to make $1,000,000. I learned and then I play because I want spectators and want to attract people to the content. And I probably just need to try different things. Just need to try different things. Ecstasy, magnetic. Magnetic. That was so cool. okay. Oh, that's so okay. Okay, it was so close. I don't know what to do with this ball. Nothing is happening, bro. This ball have the same time to speed up. I need to find more balls. I don't know. Oh my god, bro. So frustrating, bro. Really frustrating.
So if we can agree that a strong creative is the
Okay. I will go this way. think that this isn't working. This isn't working. I don't know why. But I need to try other things. That's why I'm playing the game. Because I want to try different games and see if something works. You can make another a lot of people like seeing other people playing the game. So I just want to try. Probably somebody want to watch me playing the game. I don't know. Wait, something happened. Something happened. Something really important happened. Right now, I have 115 subscribers. Let's go, bro. Let's go. Yo. Amazing. Thank you so much. So much. $115 subscribers. Let's go. Let's go, bro. No! Something happened. Okay, let's try. Right now I have no video boards, but in the future No, okay, I remember what to do. Okay. Okay, let's go. Okay. Split this. This here. Okay, perfect. Oh wait. Oh. Let's throw up this. Shrine complete. In overcoming this trial speaks to the promise of a hero. In the name of Goddess Hyla, I bestow upon you this spirit orb. Thank you so much. You're not my grandpa, but something important. No, grandpa! Where did you go? want to call my horse. His name is Bound. Why? Because I'm lame. So my horse is bound. Horse name is
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Hey.
Okay, let's go, Bound. Okay, Bound. Sorry. I don't know if this only works in a specific place because say cold resistance. Mountain fall. I don't know if this will Okay. Seems like only works on still not working. I'm sorry, Bound. Bound! We have to go. I'm sorry, Bound. I'm sorry. Okay, bye bye. Let's search for another channel. Why is so dark here? Wait, what? Find the shrine hiding in the dark ruins. Wait, what? I see nothing, bro. Okay. How are we supposed to? Wait, what? How are you supposed to find the shrine? Wait, what? Okay. 116 subscribers! Let's go! Let's go! Yo, thank you so much, guys. 116 subscribers. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. 116 subscribers. Let's go, bro. Okay, I don't know what to do. No way! Who is supposed? Who? Probably looks like a forest or something. Is he moving? Oh, I'm going to stop here because I have 0 viewers and I think that's all for today. Oh wait. Okay. Perfect. Okay guys, thank you so much for being here with me in this stream. On this stream. Thank you so much for being here with me on this stream. I appreciate it a lot. And see you tomorrow in tomorrow's stream. If you watch this video in the future, probably I already have 3 billion viewers per stream, so probably this will be remembered in the future. I want 1 billion viewers in the future, 3 billion, 4 billion, the whole planet, 8 billion viewers. I don't know. Probably when I go to the moon, probably I will have 8 billion viewers watching me go to the moon. Okay, thank you so much. Please subscribe to help me go to the moon. Subscribe to help me go to the moon. Thank you so much. That's all for today. And keep shining. Keep shining. Remember that you only have one life, one shot. See ya.